Hey! So, Shenhe...
Did you end up staying in the room or did you go find a nice little nook in the woods?
Master has relayed my situation to you, I take it.
Oh? How did you know?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in.
She's so sweet.
I was worried that something may have happened to you. So I went outside to check and caught sight of my master. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master must have told you everything about me.
How are we acting strangely?
After all, Master is... very talkative.
I mean, she is, but she isn't at the same time. She only really talks about topics that are pertinent at that moment in time. She won't just waffle on for the sake of talking.
Sorry, Shenhe. Paimon had you down as an adeptus this whole time, but it turns out Paimon was wrong.
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner, because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit.
That's really sad.
Still, though you mistook me for an adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. Instead, you treated me as you would a friend.
Yeah, well, you see, I'm kind of friends with a few adepti, so they really are just normal to me.
For this, I am very grateful indeed.
You're welcome.
To be fair, we've met our fair share of real adepti, too. Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an adeptus or a human isn't the important thing. First and foremost, we're just plain old friends.
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do, I must say I like the title friend very much indeed.
Aww, we're probably her first friends.
Great! Well, now that we're all rested up, we should start searching for the other 2 items on the list.
Oh shit, completely forgot about that. Yep.
But before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the progress is going.
Little secretary.
After all, sunset vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to find any. If it turns out some of them have given up already, we'll be able to take things a little more slowly.
I still think her sense of haste is not unwarranted.
Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night.
Did we?
There was a place just
Back
outside.
from where? We just went
Here's
up
one
the
for
cliff.
you, Shenhe. Try it. They're so good.
Again, her body won't be able to digest the
concur.
meat.
It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Okay, so she has consumed meat. Does she consume a lot of it and regularly? In which case, then it's probably okay. Can I climb this? Oh, doesn't matter. It's just going to see me into it. Nice.
Look, the jade chamber is floating into the sky.
What do you mean the jade chamber is floating into the sky? There is no jade chamber. We need the other items for it to become a jade chamber, you twit.
But it seems to be tied down by something.
It's just a platform. Where'd the let's go call it plaustrite for a second there. Where'd the vermilionite go? Is it somehow housed inside this wooden structure? And how the hell did they build this overnight?
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Bywin! And hey, Beto!
Beto!
Hey, person Paimon doesn't know?
At least you still get a very enthusiastic greeting.
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure the structure remains balanced.
The only reason why I can fathom that Beto is here is because she's friends with Ningguang. Friends, yes, friends.
Before we find some suitable plaustrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plaustrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks.
Mm-hmm.
The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
I get it, but I also think you're making life more difficult for yourself by having to do the second half of the construction that high up in the air.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
One moment, I'll be right there. The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
She just turns around and walks off while she's talking. A bit rude, don't you think, Byron?
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch.
Oh, you were competing as well?
Beto, you're joining the Jade Chamber contest too?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of sunset vermilionite on a voyage a while back, so I figured I'd bring it over.
Gasp, shock, horror. She has a little bit of a hole in her outfit so you can see her bosoms. They must cover that immediately.
Huh. So even though it's rare, we're not the only ones who managed to get a hold of it.
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yun, or Yunjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Probably the only one in the opera scene in Liyue.
Greetings.
Hi, why is an opera singer here? I get the adventurer. I get the child who grew up with the dead dying for reasons. I get Beto. Why is an opera singer here?
These two are Paimon and the Traveler, both good buddies of mine. And this is... sorry, not sure we've met.
Shenhe. I am their friend.
She used the word.
Good to meet you. A friend of a friend is my friend too. Or, as I like to say, a mate of a crewmate is part of the crew.
She has so much cleavage going on here. I can faintly see it. Come on, CCP. Are you not going to crack down on me or you for having that cleavage?
Miss Yun is also here for the contest. Turns out she needed to borrow a boat, so we came together.
Why is she borrowing a boat? I'm so confused. Why is she here for the contest and why does she need a boat?
It's an honor to finally meet you both. I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed.
Kind of sounds kind of creepy and stalkerish, but sure.
To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question. That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plastrite required. Fortunately, it was approved for submission, despite being a little on the diminutive side.
Wow. So it looks like the three of us are competitors now.
Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe, but are you competing as well?
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang. I just wanted to help her win.
In that case, I have a proposal to make.
We all team up.
Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Well, there are 3 teams here. We can split the prize between us.
What on earth could she want to ask Ningguang?
Instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3 places between us. What do you think?
I'm just trying... Sorry, I'm just thinking of what kind of question Beta would be asking Ningguang. It's probably going to be something that would annoy her.
Sounds great. But how does it change things exactly?
We work together.
I think I see where you're going with this, Miss Yun. The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us managed to get our hands on it. The 2 remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other 2 can hop on the bandwagon. How'd I do? Is that what you had in mind?
Precisely.
Huh. Interesting approach.
Okay then. All right, I'll go first. I have some leads on these wonder cores.
Great, because I had no idea where to go to get those.
From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them. You guys...
By the way, Beta, I don't know if I've ever asked. What happened to your eye?
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Is that the smith? Because otherwise I have no idea who that is. You can trust Master Zhang's smithing skills. Okay, yes it is.
Wonderful. We'll split into teams then, and whoever makes progress first brings all of us a step closer to victory.
Yay, go team.
I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Bye.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
By the way, what question are you gonna ask Ningguang, Yunjin?
I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang has excellent judgment, so I would like to hear her opinion.
What? Is there not just a dedicated venue in Liyue, either for opera or entertainment of some kind, for performances? A theatre? A stage? Something? That you know, regularly has performances, so you just go there? It seems weird that it doesn't have that. And I doubt Ningguang, while she's got excellent judgment, I mean, I don't know that she's well versed in opera, is she? Is she gonna know about, like, you know, sound acoustics and everything to be able to suggest a decent place if they don't have theatres here?
Ooh, what's the opera called? Paimon wants to go see it.
Has Paimon ever seen an opera in her life?
The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Points for alliteration. We just end there? That seems like a rather awkward place to end. What do you all want? Doesn't that take me outside? I'm pretty sure that takes me out of the game. Ask Master Zhang about wonder cars. I can do that. Why was the Adventurers Guild grayed out? Looked kind of weird on the map. Lan! Nobody wants your quest! Why? No. Who the hell's this? Looks like... Nobody. Nope, the face is completely different. It looks like Madame Ping. It really doesn't look like Madame Ping. Yeah. That great jumping Shenhe. Master Zhang.
Ah, hello. Are you here for something off the shelf? Or do you need something forged?
None of the above.
Excuse me, Master Zhang. We were wondering if you'd heard of something called a Wonder Core.
Of course I have. Sorry, who's asking?
My name is Yunjin. Perhaps you don't know me, but I believe that you forged some weaponry for my father in the past for stage use.
Yunjin? Stage use? Oh, so you must be Miss Yun. Sorry, my brain's finally caught up. It's not used to doing much beyond bashing a hammer all day.
Your brain
Everyone's
bashes
heard
a
of
hammer?
Miss Yun, even folks who don't make it to the opera all that often. Like myself. So, you're here to ask about wonder cores, huh? As it happens, I do know how to make them. Matter of fact, I made some for Lady Ningguang back when she was building the original Jade Chamber.
How long ago did she build the original? I kind of was of the opinion it was several years ago. I mean, she's not an old woman herself, but I didn't think it was quite a recent enterprise.
The types of ore needed to make wonder cores are a little hard to come by. Lady Ningguang supplied them herself last time. I don't suppose you've brought any yourselves?
Well, that would require you telling me what they are so that I can answer yay or nay.
No, we were gonna ask you what kinds of ore we need.
Sure. Well, you'll need two kinds. Star Splinter Iron and Subrosium.
I don't think I've heard of either of those.
If I remember correctly, Lady Ningguang sourced her Star Splinter Iron from the Mount Tianheng area. They say it resonates with visions.
Okay.
It could take some work, but if
Great.
you stick with it, you'll find some eventually. As for the Subrosium, though, that's trickier. It's all but unheard of on the market.
Okay, where do we start?
I'm really not sure. Sorry. What I've heard is that the people around Mount Tianheng have some sort of magic trick that can pinpoint the location of the stuff.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it's probably just hearsay. If you want my advice, start by looking for Star Splinter Iron around Mount Tianheng. And if you run into any locals, ask them a few questions about Subrosium.
You do realize that people don't just go walking the mountains? So it's a little hard to ask a local when you don't see any locals, except for the Hillchells. Think I should break up my Hillchellian?
Mount Tianheng.
Interestingly enough, the story of the divine damsel of devastation also takes place on that mountain.
What a coincidence.
I hear the view there is quite spectacular.
You've never been?
A favorite destination of the Adepti, in fact.
I like her little pink-purple colour. It's nice.
Perhaps it can give me some inspiration.
I don't like the pom-poms on her
Let's
bonnet.
not delay. We should head straight there.
I mean, I hate the fact that it's a bonnet. I've always despised bonnets. Whenever I read like Regency era novels, I just sort of blanket out from my mind the fact that these chicks are wearing bonnets because I find them so hideous. Pom-poms though, ugh. Really a terrible touch. I don't know if it's traditional or what, but I'm not digging it. I don't remember why we're going to Mount Tiangheng, but that's where we're going. What are we even doing? Where are we going? Ah, the Southland Triad. Right. Makes perfect sense. Or it would if it weren't like disgustingly early in the morning. What does it look like? Because I don't know that I've ever seen it. I guess it's not a real thing that you find in the wild.
I came to Mount Tianeng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a
Got
long
Yunjin with coming
climb
along.
that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. This is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these majestic towering peaks and the gently flowing streams. It's like setting foot in paradise.
Yes, the gently flowing streams as they show us two waterfalls.
No wonder the legend of the divine damsel of devastation is said to have taken place here. Adepti wander oft where mortals seldom stride. Indeed, this looks like a place that one might expect to be frequented by Adepti.
I don't think it is though, is it?
The Divine Damsel of Devastation is your upcoming opera, right? And the story takes place in Mount Tianheng. Huh. Seems like you have a real connection with this place.
The only reason she has a connection with this place is because her dad used to bring her. The rest is just circumstantial.
What's the story about, though?
Is this really the time or place? Weren't you all like, oh my god, we've got to hurry before the other people get the competition? And with sitting here talking about opera, I thought you'd be a little more hustled to get your goddamn iron.
It's the story of a girl becoming a hero.
Aren't they all?
Cool. A hero story? They're Paimon's favorite.
Technically, Paimon, you could say that every single story is a hero story because the main character is the hero.
The legend first arose in this area. It is said that there used to be a prosperous village on the mountain. In that village, there was a loving couple who were completely devoted to one another. One day, a terrifying monster appeared. The wife was out collecting herbs and was captured by the monster. Her husband was so distraught at the news that it broke his spirit and drove him to madness. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, "If you want to live, you must sacrifice a child to me."
Which is kind of creepy. Why does the monster want a child? Does he want to eat the child? In which case it's a very, very strange dietary requirement. And if he wants to do something else with the child, well, that's just a little scary.
What a nasty piece of work. Paimon sure hopes this monster gets put in its place.
It's a story about a girl becoming a hero. What do you think, Paimon?
But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had no choice but to give in to the monster's demand.
I like how Paimon cuts in on conversations to make it seem like it's not just one person continually, giving us exposition. But the people never react to what Paimon says. Like, Paimon has said something and Yunjin's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to keep talking. But the monster was so terrible. It's kind of awkward.
Just while they
From a
were
conversation
discussing whose child
perspective.
would be given over to the monster, a little girl suddenly stood up and came forward.
No, don't do it, little girl.
Paimon really is like a 5-year-old, honestly. Oh my gosh, it's so dramatic. Don't do it, girl. Dude, really?
Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade.
Nice.
She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. When she finally arrived, she courageously drew her sword and entered into a fierce struggle with the monster, from which she eventually emerged as the victor.
2 questions, possibly 3. How did she get her hands on an exorcist blade? It's a very specific item. Was she raised by exorcists? Did she take the initiative to go obtain an exorcist blade in order to save everybody? 2. How does she know how to use said blade? Was she trained in the arts of swordplay? Because she's clearly bested this big, just terrifying monster who I dare say is not going to take a sword fight lying down. So she has to have been good with the blade. So how and when did she learn swordcraft? And 3, why the hell did nobody else think about this?
Her extraordinary abilities drew the attention of the Adepti, and they took her as one of their own. Her story became the stuff of legends. But alas, the paths of mortals and Adepti seldom cross, and she would never again re-enter the mortal world.
Okay, I'm a bit slow. Don't judge. It's really early morning. I get now that they're talking about Shenhe. It never occurred to me the whole time they've been talking about this opera. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Neat, moving on. And during the story, I'm like, yeah, your story has issues. And now I'm like, oh, the story is about Shenhe. Okay. Was it an exorcist blade that she used to kill the creature? Claritaine never made mention of any exorcist blades. She just mentioned that it was a blade and the battle was even. Okay.
And so, destined to grace the mortal realm for but a brief moment, she vanished like a wisp of smoke into thin air. That's how the opera ends.
Hey, Shenhe, do you want to go see an opera about yourself?
I really like this story,
I bet you do.
but I personally think that perhaps the little girl was not as brave as the opera makes her out to be.
Yeah, because Shenhe, there was no sacrifice given. Hey, Seely, I see you in the back left there. I'm not going to do anything with you, though. Yeah, she was not... She did not choose to put herself into that situation. It was thrust upon her, and it was just, you survive or you die. So I can see why she would have that idea.
I'm not sure she deserves all the praise she is given.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. Not the praise given for the opera, but she is deserving of praise for having survived.
I've never considered that before. Opera is always an interpretation of the events it purports to portray.
That's true of any story,
A certain degree
theatrical
of
or otherwise.
deviation from the truth is always inevitable.
Yes, also to make it more entertaining for an audience.
When my father wrote the script for this play, I suppose his intention was to inspire his audience with the character of the divine damsel.
I think it's a great story. The ideal story.
Only because it's about you.
Well, it sure inspired Paimon! Let's go get ourselves some Star Splinter Iron! Yeah!
I still think the pacing's really weird. We were in an all-fired hurry and then we've just stopped to have, tea and a story. Use visions to find the Star Splinter Iron. Why do I need to use visions? And that's the first time you've ever called it visions. It's normally elemental vision. Hey, Seely. Yeah, okay, well, this is getting me nowhere. Do I have to climb the mountain? I'm not entirely certain what it requires. Where's it, Seely? Oh, it's literally right here. I may as well, right? Sir, I do not see your abode. Oh, there it is. Right next to the pretty waterfall. Technically under the waterfall, if you want to get real technical about it.
These
Alright.
things.
Doesn't help me from a
What are they
Star
used
Splinter
for?
Iron perspective. I don't really know what it's going to look like. What do you mean by use visions? What? I see nothing. What is it going to look like?
In the mortal world at times like these, is it not customary to use an umbrella?
This can't be the right thing. What do you mean by visions? Because if it's that, you always call it elemental vision. You've always been very specific about how you refer to it. So this might not be what you mean. Could you be more specific? No. Okay. Awesome. Well, I guess we're just going to climb and see if it's at the top because my elemental vision is getting me nowhere. And I'm still not convinced it's the thing it wants me to do because it's never not called it elemental vision before. Yeah. See? Elemental vision does nothing. It doesn't change it at all or enhance it or make me see that that's where I'm supposed to go. Problem is, oh, there it is. Okay, so it was what I was looking at before. So yeah, elemental vision doesn't work. It doesn't enhance it at all. I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to use it to find it though. Oh, whatever. I used my own eyes to find that.
Now we just need to find that Subrosium.
Do we even know what
I think I saw a
Subrosium is?
village on our way
okay,
here.
there we go.
Master
Isn't this
Zhang said
normally a
we should
treasure
ask
hoarder
the
village?
locals for help. Why don't we try there?
Yeah, isn't this normally a treasure hoarder village? It's not normally just random ass people here.
Hey, there really is someone here. Yunjin, looks like you were right. Excuse us, sir. Can we ask you something?
He seems to be in some sort of deep meditation, Paimon. Okay, what's wrong with you, sir?
He didn't seem to catch that.
Hello, sir.
Does he have a
We
tongue?
were just passing by
It's a
and
strange
wanted
sound
to
to
ask
make.
if you happen to know anything about Subrosium.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards no tongue.
Is he trying to tell us to look for clues in the village? Well, whatever. Guess we're on our own here. Shenhe, Yunjin, let's have a look around.
Is no one concerned about the old man who seems unable to articulate and seems to be here by himself? No, we're just gonna... Okay.
Sorry, you can go ahead without me. I'd like to have a word with this gentleman.
Okay, well, Shenhe seems to have some interest.
If that's okay with you, Uncle Mingjin.
Oh, she knows him.
It's...
He can talk. He was just being really, really, really creepy.
Shenhe.
Shenhe. You're alive.
Oh, she came from this village.
True. So, all these years?
Why is Yunjin not making the connection that this is the village from her opera?
I'm sorry, I don't know how to find Subrosium. But I think you can find some information in the village.
Oh, why couldn't you have said that earlier? Why'd you have to act like a weird, creepy, stalkery dude?
And this place is deserted now. No one ever comes here. So you can rummage around all you want.
So if it's deserted, why are you here? And why is it deserted?
Huh? You know this guy, Shenhe?
Thank you, kind sir. We'll go and take a look around. Don't worry. Mingjin has no ill intention towards Miss Shenhe. She'll be quite safe.
And you know this how?
Okay, then let's see what we can find in this
Just
village.
okay. It's kind of awkward. Bygones times like dust passing. Wait, what? Bygones times... Like, I don't understand the grammar here going on here. It's very confusing. You guys gonna say anything? At all?
I came back here once before, a few years ago. Alone. I hid it from Master at the time.
Understandable.
It was deserted then, too. Except for a few low-life bandits.
Yeah, treasure hoarders live here.
Everyone and everything I remembered was long gone. But from this village. But no one believed me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe having been brought up by an Adeptus kind of gave you an aura of some sort. I don't mean magical or anything. I just mean like your bearing is probably influenced by that, and that's what people are reacting to.
When I saw how run down all these houses were, I felt at a loss. It was like I took a look at the world, and on the surface, a vast realm with so many places I looked a little closer, and there was nowhere for me to go at all.
That's kind of sad.
Suddenly, so much time has gone by. Everything has changed.
Still didn't know what happened to the village.
Last time I visited, I felt so upset. But today, I don't know why, but it feels different.
When you are alone, Or with your friends, aren't you?
That's what I was going to say. It probably feels different because you're with people.
Yes, my friends.
I mean, unless they're insinuating that Yunjin's story of the monster attacking the village is true, but I don't remember that in Claverdina's story. She only mentioned the cave.